Yo, RX back with another breakdown of UFC Nashville Sandhagen versus Font. We sadly back after a fun July, and we begin August fights with this shit. The funny thing, it's not a bad card at all. I don't like it. I have my own hate towards it for multiple reasons. But whatever, I'm still gonna break it down because that's what I do. So, yeah. Town off the heels of a fun July, 2 great pay-per-views and decent fight nights. Let's see how August does. We got 2 fight nights to begin August before we hit the pay-per-views of the month, and should be interesting. 11 fights in Nashville. Maybe it could be good. Maybe it could suck. We'll see. We don't know what else to say. Yeah. I'm just ready to get into this and get this over with. So, unless I'm forgetting to say anything, please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs go by the end of the year. And as always, let's break down some fights. 11 fights in total. And let's begin in the flyweight division between Ode, the Jamaican sensation, Osbourne versus Asu Zulfikar Almabaev. Easy name there. Let's talk about Ode Osbourne. Ode in the UFC is 4-3. His wins: Jerome Rivera, CJ Vergara, Zaruk Adeshev, and Charles Johnson. His losses: Brian Kelleher, Manel Kopp, and Tyson Nam. Ode's not a bad fighter. He just has bad fight IQ. A lot of the time. When he does lose, it's 2 good fighters. Kelleher, tough debut. Kopp is great, and Tyson Nam is a tough fight. The one thing we've seen from Ode, he can beat guys he should beat, like Jerome Rivera, Zaruk Adeshev, and Charles Johnson. And then CJ Vergara is a win that's aging better every time CJ gets a win. So, yeah, Ode's not a bad fighter. His striking is decent. He just has bad fight IQ. Look at the Tyson Nam fight. Like, he just has really bad fight IQ at times. The Johnson fight was very close. He probably should have lost. But, yeah, Ode's just not a bad fighter. He's just has these issues in his game that makes him lose sometimes. And now he's getting the same treatment as Tyson Nam, welcoming in a debutee who has a shiny record. Let's see how he does. Tyson Nam did good in his bout. Maybe Ode can do good here. Ode, very powerful. We've seen that in the Jerome Rivera and Zaruk Adeshev fight. Dude's very powerful. His gas tank ain't great. The Charles Johnson fight really shows that. His wrestling's not much. But he's not a bad striker. Just, again, bad fight IQ. Yeah, he's a tough debut for this Asu kid. It's no easy debut. I think, like, the Asu and that Azat kid both are getting really hard debuts. Or was that already had his debut? But are getting very difficult debuts when you're fighting Ode Osbourne and Tyson Nam. Like, you're no easy debut for anyone, so. But, yeah, Ode, very talented, just does not always get it done. And definitely have had my moments of frustration with Ode, like the Tyson Nam fight, like the Charles Johnson fight where I picked him, and it was a fucking close one, so. Excuse me. But the one good, like I said, the one good thing about CJ, Ode, he's winning when he should. Like I said, Adeshev and Rivera, two of the worst fighters I've ever seen in the flyweight division, he ran through. And Vergara is a win that's aging great day by day, so. Yeah, overall, Ode's a tough debut for anyone, and the dude's good, just, he had these not minute, but he has these holes in his game that makes him lose sometimes, so if he fix those holes over the last 5 months, he's really gonna give this kid some problems. So, overall, Ode's good. Ode's really good, but holes in his game. They talk about his opponent a little bit, Almabaev. Not gonna lie, just like that from the Tyson Am fight, I think about a month ago. For fuck's sake. I hate people. Asu, not gonna lie, I've never seen this dude fight before until Saturday night. Never seen him a day in my life before he was booked for this fight. But he has a really nice record. 17-2's on a very long winning streak. What is he on? 13. And his losses are, one of them's Tagir Ulanbekov, which ain't a bad loss at all. So, do get submissions, I see. Yeah, maybe he'd be good. Hopefully he doesn't have as shit of a debut as Azat, because Azat had a very underwhelming debut against Tyson Am, so maybe Asu could do better. And this is a tough but a good debut for this guy. Like I said, Ode's gonna test you. He's gonna do that much. He's definitely going to test you. Bare minimum, so. Yeah, right now much more to say about the guy I've never seen fight before. So, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Asu minus 150 to plus 125. Yeah. He, just like that, he's coming in, nice record, on a winning streak. He could be good or he could suck. He's either gonna be good or he's a padded record can. And Saturday night we figured that out. As that, by the end of his fight, it looked more like he was a padded record fighter, but we'll give him another chance. He did win and go to war with a tough guy. Asu, I don't think he's gonna have that kind of fight. I think he'll probably win a little more dominantly. Ode will give him problems, but as the fight goes deeper, in that second round, Ode will start to gas, and Asu could easily start taking advantage of that. And you never know, maybe you could get him a little something. 8 submissions, 6 decisions, and 3 KOs. Interesting. Fuck, excuse me. Yeah, trying to think. Not very much more to say. Yes, my pick is Asu Almabaev. I'm gonna go Asu to get the win here, continue his winning streak, and I'm gonna say by this probably decision. Fuck you. Yeah, probably decision. Like I said, he could catch Ode or something. He's probably not gonna knock Ode out. He only has 3 wins by knockout, and Ode is not a terrible striker. He just does stupid shit on the feet. But overall, I'm guessing Asu should and probably will win this fight. So I'm gonna go Asu Almabaev by decision. Tough debut against Ode, but never know. Asu by decision. After that, we head to a fight that finally sealed and done deal, because this guy's had 3 other opponents for this card, and our second fight of the night is Sean the Sniper Woodson versus Dennis the Great Buzukja. So, this is Sean Woodson's fourth opponent for this card. I'll go down the list real quick. He was meant to fight Steve Garcia at first. He pulled out. Then he was meant to fight Jesse Butler. He pulled out, I think, was it Saturday or something, or the last couple days ago. Then he would fight this guy for a day. He pulled out Tuesday, and now Dennis finally gets to call to the UFC. Overdue debut. But we'll talk about him in a minute. Let's start off this breakdown by talking about Sean Woodson. Sean is 3-1-1 in UFC. His wins, Kyle Boschinack, Yusuf Zalal, and Colin Anglin. His loss is Julian Ihosa, and his draw is Luis Saldana. I'll talk about that fight more in a second. For his wins, he's beat 3 bad fighters. Who the fuck is this? Yusuf Zalal never was that good, and Colin Anglin's trash. Losing to Juicy J, you can't get mad at it. Juicy J is a dog. And then, he knocked out Terrence McKinney on a Contender Series, which is funny. That a featherweight knocked out a lightweight. That's Terrence McKinney for you. And then the Luis Saldana fight. A really weird fight. A fight where Woodson looked terrible. He really got knocked out. But Saldana kneed him while he was on the ground, and it got overturned, and that got a point taken away. Fight restarted, and it became a draw. Sorry. Just a really terrible performance by Sean Woodson against a dude in Saldana who I don't really think's that good, but Woodson looked pretty fucking bad. And yes, he's taken a year off since that fight. Maybe he gotten better, but after all of these cancellations, how can you really be that focused? You've had 3 other opponents, 2 in the last. This is if we're going from, we'll say Sunday till fucking, we'll go last week from Wednesday to Wednesday, or Thursday, my bad. He's had 3 opponents. It's Butler, Santos, and now Dennis. So you're switching who you're doing tape for every fucking 5 minutes, and now you're fighting a completely different fighter. I highly doubt these 4 guys fight like each other that much. So it's just probably been a clusterfuck of a week for this dude. Respect to him for saying yes to everyone. He could have easily said no by the 3rd or 4th guy, but he said yes every time, which is super respectful. So mad respect in that department, but that could be a downfall in this fight, because 4th opponent. Woodson ain't a bad fighter. The England fight, I think, was his peak so far, because he looked great. He was able to just use his length very well and destroy England from afar before he got to finish. So, and again, then he had the Saldana fight where he looked terrible, and now this is his fucking 2nd long layoff in between fights. He fights in fucking November, then he fights in fucking August last year, and now he fights in August this year. Fuck off. So this could be good for him, especially he did take a lot of damage in the Saldana fight. That could be good for him, but also, is that really? He's not. Yeah, he's still pretty young, fight age, 31. So it's weird that he's taking these super long breaks, but maybe they're needed. Maybe he's getting better each time. We'll see. This is definitely a fight that he could win. and it's gonna be interesting to see if he does, because this is I'll say this is his toughest fight out of the 4, and that's counting Steve Garcia. So, like, Woodson's not a bad fighter, just he really disappointed against Saldana, I'll say that much. So, yeah, really not much more to say about Sean Woodson. To talk about his opponent, Denis Buzukja. I know I'm saying that wrong, but whatever. He's making his debut here. Long overdue. He should have got a contract on a Contender Series last year, and then he had 3 more fights. He should have got a contract anytime then, and now he finally does. People have been wanting to do in the UFC for a while, and long overdue. Like I said, he's a part of the Longo team with Merab and fucking Matt Frivola, all that, and I'm happy to see him finally in the UFC. The kid, I remember watching the kid on that night of Contender Series. I was like, okay, this dude's good. He should have got a contract. He's the only one out of these other 3 guys who should have got a contract outside of Joe Pyfer, and I'm happy it sucks that he is making his debut on short notice, where it's not gonna be easier for him to win this fight, but I think this kid could do it. He has the skills. He definitely has the skills, and I'm not counting him out in the slightest. His last loss was Contender Series in 2020 against Melsik Bagdasaryan. Well, that's not a bad loss. He lost to a fucking good fighter in Melsik, so what do you really want him to do? And he was on a Contender Series when he was fucking in for his 6th fight, so the dude's good. I'm happy he's finally in the UFC. What I'll say. So, to talk about his fighting skills, of course he's good on the ground when he trains the Longo Sarah camp, when you're fucking around Merab and all of that. His striking's good from what I remember, and he's gonna need it. He's ever gonna need it. He's gonna need to use everything he can in this fight, fighting such a disadvantage in height and reach. He's gonna really need to use everything he can, and this height and reach could really be the death of him, cause that's fucking insane. Like, that's honestly an insane height and reach disadvantage. But I think he could fight through it, man. I really do. I think wrestling could really get him through that, I think. So, I don't know. I'm very excited to see Denis in the UFC finally. And it's bare minimum, obviously, I'm excited to see how he does in his 2nd fight, because when he's on a full camp, because one loser draw here, it's cool he's just gotten the UFC, and it's cool Woodson still made it on this card after 4 opponents. So yeah, there's not much more to say there. I'm excited to see Denis in the UFC. I know the betting odds are not here on Tapology, but I looked earlier, I believe Woodson's about -200 to like plus 170, plus 160, whatever. I get it. I do get it. The height and reach, and plus he's been training, but at the same time he's at a huge disadvantage also. Again, he's had to switch tape on to 4 different fucking guys at this point. So to be honest, he's only really been training for Denis by the time they fight for 4 days, because they got this fight booked Tuesday. So, yeah. Trying to put betting odds for this fight is a tough one, because if they weren't both on such caveats, then you could really make a better case for the odds to be different. But since both are on such disadvantages, it's hard to really give fair betting odds. So yeah, well, whatever. Woodson -200 does make sense, just because the background on the fight. So yeah, we'll stick with that. Who am I going with in this fight? Woodson on paper should win it. Has a giant reach and giant fucking height advantage. Like I said, he's been on the card. He's known he's fighting on this card. But I just feel like Dennis could upset him. I feel like I could just see Woodson throwing a kick, Dennis gets it to the ground, wins the round. Then maybe Dennis gets in the clinch, takes him down. I don't know. I feel Dennis winning this long overdue debut against a tough dude like Woodson. I think Dennis could show up and show out, man. So, who's my pick for this fight? I'm going Dennis Buzukja. I can't wait to hear John Anik say it and tell me how to say it. Yeah, I'm going Dennis to win this, man. I think he can upset him. And I'm gonna go Dennis by decision. Hopefully he can put on a wrestling fest. So, yeah, Woodson probably will win and should win, but I'm going Dennis by decision. Not very much more to say about the fight. Hopefully it's fun. After that, we head to featherweight for a fun fight between two dudes coming off brutal losses. As we got Billy Quarantillo versus Damon Action Jackson. Let's talk about Billy Q. Neither of these guys I really need to go in depth on, but I'll still will. Billy Q in the UFC is 5-3. Not gonna go over his whole UFC career, not really needed. I'll talk about the last couple fights. He's been very wishy-washy. Like in his last 5, 2-3. Like, I don't talk about that fight, it was so long ago. Beating Gabriel Benitez as you should. Burgos was just a better fighter. That dog fight against Hernandez, and then Edson just being Edson. I think Billy Q's hit a ceiling, to be honest. Like, this Edson fight really showed it, and the Burgos fight to an extent. The dude's good. Dude's definitely good, just he's not top 15. He can't really hang with guys like Burgos and Barbosa, but he could beat guys like Gabriel Benitez, fucking Alexander Hernandez. Like, he's not got, like, Damon Jackson's the first one, the guys who are a lot like him, who just sit around at, like, top, I don't know, 16, 25 at featherweight. Like, Billy Q, Nate Landwehr, Giuliani Rosa, those guys who are good, just are not top 15 good, especially at featherweight, which is a very tough weight class. So, yeah, Billy Q's fun, man. Great great gas tank, good striker, tough as fuck, but when he's fighting someone who just has the skills on him, he's gonna lose, but that happens. What can you really expect? Billy Q's just trying to drown you, like he did to Alexander Hernandez. He literally just drowned Hernandez. When Hernandez couldn't get him out there, Billy Q just drowned him. And that's his game plan. He's just going in there to fight until one of them till someone drops. Most of the time, it's not him getting dropped, but the rare time it is. But yeah, Billy Q is he's not a bad fighter. He's just not top 15 level. Maybe he's gotten better. Nah. He's hit his ceiling, which sucks. But yeah, we all like Billy Q because he's just trying to drown you. So, yeah, Billy, we know what we're getting with Billy Q. I really don't need to break down Billy Quarantillo too much because he's gonna do the same thing every fight. So, yeah. To talk about his opponent, Damon Jackson. Damon in the UFC is 5-3, 1-1. To talk about his last 5, he was on a nice run. He went on a nice run. Charles Rosa, Camuela Kirk, 2 bad wins. Well, 2 can wins. But 2 wins are 2 wins. Then he beat Daniel Argueta. That's a good win. And then his best win, kicking Pat Sabatini in the face, pretty much. And then TKOing him. That was a great one after he had some family issues. That's great to see. And then But then, just like Billy Q, Edson Barboza, Damon had to meet Dan Ige, and he got put on his ass. Yeah, he got pretty much embarrassed by Ige. Worse than Barboza embarrassed Billy Q. Damon got made to look like a joke. Ige just fucking did whatever he wanted until he landed a walk-off KO. And not a great look for Damon Jackson. Damon's not a bad fighter. His striking's pretty bad, to be honest. This was a complete fluke, to be honest. But his ground game's really good. His ground game's good. You don't really want to be on the ground from him too much. He is dangerous on the ground. That's why he beat Argueta. Argueta would have knocked him out on the feet. Just the ground game was able to win him that. And then he, like Kirk and Mersan Bektik, he was able to just beat on the ground. So his ground game is his main weapon, because his striking is pretty bad, like I said. So the Ige and I won't even say the Ilya Taporia fight, because what do you really want Damon Jackson to do against Ilya Taporia? But the Dan Ige fight really showed Damon Jackson's full bag, and his bag's pretty low outside of ground game. So yeah, and he's also 34, taking a lot of damage. So yeah, not really much more to say. He coming off an embarrassing loss. Let's see how he does. The odds for this fight have Billy Q minus 175 to plus 140. Yeah, I agree. You can even give Billy Q a little bit higher of a favorite if you want. He should win this. He should be able to keep it on the feet and win. Like, if he goes to the ground, there are definitely worries, but I think Billy Q will be able to not get subbed if he goes to the ground. And yeah, he will probably just be able to pick apart Damon on the feet to a finish. So yeah, I don't really see, this is a very bad matchup for Damon. A dude who doesn't gas, who's good on the feet, and will just try and drown you. Billy Q is one of the worst matchups for Damon Jackson. So yeah, I'm gonna go Billy Quarantillo by TKO, well, by knockout in the second. I think he'll be able to drown Damon, and probably a standing TKO, kind of like the Hernandez one. He's just gonna drown him. So I'm gonna go Billy Q by knockout in the second. So yeah, just keep it on the feet and win. Not very much more to say about that fight. Billy Q, baby. After that, we had to welterweight for a interesting fight, another huge height difference fight, as we have Jeremiah Wells versus Carlston Mokambiku, I said that wrong, Harris. Let's talk about Jeremiah Wells, the battle of the 36-year-old welterweights. Let's talk about Wells. Jeremiah Wells in the UFC is 4-0, really should be 3-1. His wins were Alves, Blood Diamond, and Court McGee, and then his last fight was against Matt Semelsberger. I think he lost that fight. I think that was a terrible robbery, but UFC is going to UFC. Wells is a very explosive fighter. When he touches you, you're going to go down. Ask Court McGee, ask Warley Alves. If the dude touches you, you are going down. And then in the Semelsberger fight, he showed he is strong as shit. He has good tools. Like his striking's good, very powerful. His wrestling works because he's so strong. But I think the Semelsberger fight showed a couple things because it was his longest fight. He does gas. He does get tired. And he can get hurt pretty bad. He has heart. That Semelsberger showed heart, but he should have lost that fight. And he is 36 years old. He's no spring chicken. So, and he's not the tallest either. He's fucking 5'9" at welterweight. It's that's another kind of interesting dilemma for him. So, Wells is good, but if he was a couple years younger, if he was even like 33, you could really make a case for him being like maybe a lower ranked guy at welterweight, just as age, and not really the first time we've seen him go deep into a fight he probably should have lost. Not really the best looks. Not really the best looks at all. And I'm pretty sure was that his first decision, one of his career? No, but one of his first few. So, yeah, I like Wells. I think he's a good fighter, but that Thumblesburger fight really put a stop to the giant hype train. Well, not giant hype train, but the hype train he could have had, or kind of did have, so. Yeah, Wells is a good fighter, though. I'm shocked he's back so quick after that Thumblesburger fight, because he, like I said, he got beat pretty. He took a lot of damage. It's kind of crazy that he's back so quick, but fighters are gonna be fighters, man. What can you do? To talk about his opponent, Carlston Harris. He has Carlston in UFC is 3-1. His wins: Christian Aguilera, Impa Kasanganay, and Jared Gooden. His one loss is Shavkat Rakhmonov. Talk about his wins: can. To talk about his one loss, he fought Shavkat. What do you really expect? Carlston's not a bad fighter. He's very lengthy for welterweight. He has good kicks, decent striking, good ground game. Man, in his wins, he's looked good. He destroyed Impa Kasanganay. He ripped through this guy, Aguilera. And in his last fight against Jared Gooden, he just was able to wrestle him. On the feet, he was actually kind of getting beat a little bit, but overall, he was able to just wrestle Gooden and get the win. For Harris, and then when he fought Shavkat, again, just like I said for Damon Jackson against Ilya, what do you really want Carlston Harris to do against Shavkat Rakhmonov? Come on. Harris kind of has the exact same problem as well. He's 36. I highly doubt he's gonna start hitting his prime like Tony Ferguson at fucking his late 30s. The dude's good, but he's not gonna make a run, especially a killer division like welterweight. Not a fucking chance. And he really does not have a good one in the UFC yet. Out of his first 3 wins in the UFC, who's the best guy he's beat? Impa Kasanganay? Come on. Like, no one even knows who this guy is, really. And Jared Gooden sucks ass. So, this is a real test for Carlston. And I'm interested to see how he does. This will tell you a lot about Carlston. And Jeremiah to an extent. But mainly Carlston, because we've seen Jeremiah's fought better competition. I'll take Matt Thumblesburger and Court McGee and Warley Alves over Jared Gooden, Impa Kasanganay, and Christian Aguilera. So, yeah. This will be a good test for Carlston and Wells. So, yeah. And like I said, Carlston has tools that could win in this fight. He has really good kicks. He needs to keep that range. And maybe keep it on the feet, because Wells is probably the stronger fighter. Could probably try and manhandle him like he did to Thumblesburger at times. So, this will be interesting. This will be a very interesting fight between the 36-year-old welterweights. The betting odds for this fight have Jeremiah Wells minus 170 to plus 140. I would move him down a little bit. I move Wells down to maybe a minus 140 to plus 120. He should win. He is a better fighter, but you do have to take into account, like for Woodson and Dennis, that height and reach disadvantage is crazy. The reach ain't bad, it's that height, really. 5'9", 6 foot. That could be a real problem. And Carlston, if he can keep that range, Wells could be kind of fucked. If he could just use his body kicks, teep kicks, head kicks, his jab, he could win this pretty soundly. Just keep Wells away, don't let him use that power on you. Don't let him get to your legs or too in on your body or anything. He could win this. So this is going to be a tough test for both guys. But who do I think is going to walk with the W here? Sorry if that was loud. I'm going to go Jeremiah Wells. I think he get the win here. I think he'll be able to maybe wrestle. And I don't know why. I'm not really seeing him finishing Carlston Harris. Maybe he can get in there, clip his jaw or something. But as of right now, I'm feeling Jeremiah Wells by decision. I think he'll be, maybe early in the fight, he might clip Carlston or something. But I think as he hit that second, third, he'll turn to a wrestler. Because if I remember, Carlston was not looking that good against Gooden gas tank wise. So that'll be interesting. I think I'm going to go Jeremiah Wells by decision. Just get to his legs, get him down, and control him like he did with Semmelsberger. So, sorry about that. So, yeah, I'm going to go Jeremiah Wells by decision. Tough fight, good fight, really good fight here. So, yeah, Jeremiah Wells by decision. And to end the prelims with a fight I'm very excited for, because I'm excited for the return of one of these two. We end the prelims with Raoni Barcelos versus Kyler the Matrix Phillips. Very hyped for this fight. It was meant to be Saeed Nurmagomedov versus Kyler Phillips, but Raoni stepped in because Saeed is a Nurmagomedov and he pulled out. So, yeah, not very much more to say on that. Let's talk about Raoni Barcelos. Raoni in the UFC is 6-3. Let's talk about his wins. He has some good wins. Chris Gutierrez, Saeed Nurmagomedov. His best two wins, definitely. For his losses, Timur Valiev, Victor Henry, and Umar Nurmagomedov. You really can't get mad at two. Like, Timur and Umar are very good. And Victor Henry, that's a good fight. That no one expected Victor Henry to show up like he did in that one, so you can't get mad at that. Raoni's a good fighter, just he's now really his age is really shown. 36 years old, it is starting to show. He had a nice run, like having a win streak that involves beating Chris Gutierrez and Saeed Nurmagomedov is very nice. Beat Khalil Taha and Kurt Halabaugh, who's on tough right now. But then he met Timur, and Timur beat him. Shut down his hype completely. Then Victor Henry beat him. He got to win against Trevin Jones, but Trevin Jones is garbage. And then Umar knocked him out cold. So, yeah, he's really slowed down, being fucking 2-3 in your last 5, and your second win was in 2020. Not the greatest look, but Raoni's still a good fighter. Like, Raoni's still dog. Like, he's just been losing to very decent, like, take out Victor. Two really good fighters. Fuck, he lost to arguably a guy who could be a champion in his last fight, so what can he really do? Raoni's a good fighter. Pretty, like, all around. He's a tough test for anybody, and I think he's really going to test Kyler in Kyler's return. Yeah, I really think he's going to test Kyler, and I'm happy he's taken such a long layoff after that vicious knockout, 6 months. Good layoff. He probably could have even taken a longer layoff, but he wanted to get back in there. But after that kind of knockout, I'm happy to take a long layoff like he did. So, yeah. Overall, Raoni's good, but age is definitely catching up to him. And like I said, he is fighting tough competition like Timur and Umar. So what can you do? But like that, he has two great wins in Saeed Nurmagomedov and Chris Gutierrez. So, yeah. Overall, Raoni's a dog. Striking, ground game is good. To talk about his opponent, who I'm hyped to see back, Kyler Phillips. Kyler in the UFC is 4-1, even though that one's pretty bullshit. His wins, really not great. Song Yadong, which I'll talk about that one in a second. But outside of Song, he's already beat no one that good. Like, who? Trash and trash. But the thing with Kyler is, he's finally getting a chance to... he's finally getting that chance to step up. Because, like I said, he's had these 3 shit wins, but then you have, when you look at this, you're like, what the fuck? How did he go from this to this? And I'll talk about this loss in a second. But, dude, Kyler's really good. People who don't know, Kyler is very good. He goes to the MMA lab, the home of Sean O'Malley and Mario Bautista, 2 other great bantamweights, obviously. And you can tell he goes to the lab with the same place as Sean O'Malley, because he does fight like O'Malley a good extent. Very just no fucks given, just have fun and fight. He's a very good striker. He's very dangerous. His ground game is fine, and he's not a bad fighter. He's a very good fighter, actually. And again, I'm very excited to see him back after such a long layoff. He did pop for some shit, but it wasn't that. I don't think it was like roids. I think it was some fucking minute. So, but yeah, been off for over a year and a half. Well, about a year and a half. He's back, and tough return fight, but I think he can do it. To talk about the 2 big fights on his record, I'll talk about his loss first. This was bullshit. This should have been a draw, if anything. He did not lose his fight. That was a draw, if anything. And I know that's a bad look, especially since you talk about, O'Malley's this, and O'Malley ran through Paiva, but I think Kyler was riding a little too high after the Song Yadong win, so yeah. But then you look at this with Song Yadong win, he beat Song Yadong. And it was not like, it was a clear win for Kyler from what I remember, so this win is age, and my god, could this win age any better? Dude, this happened in 2021, 2 years later, one guy is, the guy he beat is like a borderline top 5 guy, so I think that's a huge reason why, and no joke, I do think that's a huge reason why they're finally trying to give him these harder fights, because these step-up fights, because, dude, you beat Song Yadong 2 years ago. Let's see how good you really are now. So, I'm happy. Kyler, I think, is too good at this point to just keep fighting cans like fucking Cameron Elsey or whatever, so yeah, I'm happy to see Kyler back in and fighting real competition. So yeah, Kyler Phillips is back, baby. And that's more to say. The betting odds for this fight have Kyler Phillips minus 175 to plus 145. Yeah, Kyler should win this. He is better on feet. If it does hit the ground, he should be the better fighter on the ground. And yeah, I think Kyler will be able to win this fight. It's no tough, like I said, it's no easy fight for a return, but he should be able to win this. Hani is like on a skid right now, and Kyler is on the up and up on her nice return. Getting a nice win against Hani would be a great way to return, and I think he's gonna be able to do it. So I'm gonna go Kyler Phillips to get the win here, and I'm gonna say by I don't know why, something just telling me knockout. I'm gonna go Kyler Phillips by knockout in the second. I think he'll be able to clip that jaw of Hani and get the win, man. I don't know why, I just feel it. So I'm gonna go Kyler Phillips by knockout in the second. I feel like he can clip that chin and get a win. So, yeah. Kyler Phillips by knockout in the second. That's the prelims. A couple good fights. 3 great fights to end it. And, 2 decent fights to open it. So, but enough about the prelims. Let's get to this main card, which is not bad at all. Damn, 44 minutes and we just finished the prelims. Crazy. But let's start the main card with a fun lightweight bout between Ignacio La Jula Bahamondes versus Ľudovít Mr. Highlight Klein. Fun fight. This will be a really fun fight. Let's talk about Ignacio Bahamondes. Ignacio in the UFC is 3-1. His 3 wins: Roosevelt Roberts, Zhu Rong, and Trey Ogden. His 1 loss is John Makdessi in a war. I'm I'm very excited to see Ignacio fight again so quick. I'm very high on Ignacio. I think he's a very good fighter. Interesting. He's just really not got to show it yet against good guys, because he's fought no one good. Robert sucks. This guy sucks. Garbage. And he lost. But the kid's getting better. Kid's definitely he's fighting smarter now. That his last fight against Trey Ogden only a couple months ago showed he is starting to fight smarter. Like, the guy we saw against Robertson was a very green but good fighter. Now he's fighting smart, which is definitely paying off. He's only 25 years old. You gotta remember that. He's very young into his UFC career, and into his career period. Like, he got into UFC when he was, 23, 22 and shit, so no shock the kid's gonna get better. And now, like I said, he's starting to fight smarter. And that's helpful. It's good for him. Dude had really good kicks. Very powerful. His ground game, I don't remember being much to speak of, because I don't remember seeing it much. But I know his ground game's bad. But we're not gonna need to worry about that here. Klein ain't gonna become a fucking wrestler. But Bahamondes, man, kid I'm very high on. I won't be shy in the next 5-10 years he makes it to rankings. He's very good, in my opinion. He's definitely a kid I'm high on, and I hope he can show out in this fight. If he can get this one, then I definitely think he needs to start getting a fight closer to the rankings, because he's good, and that'd be 4 in a row. Give him a fight like, I don't know. I know he just got booked, but someone like a Drew Dober, or someone who is unranked but borderline ranked. And let's see how he does, because the kid's good. And if he is fighting smarter now, how far can he go? Because his main problem, I think, against Makdessi is he fought crazy. And Makdessi, being a veteran, was able to win. So with Bahamondes fighting smarter now, let's see how he does. You talk about his opponent, Ľudovít Klein. Ľudovít in the UFC is 3-2-1. His wins, Shane Young, Devontae Smith, and Mason Jones. His 2 losses, Mike Trezano, Nate Landwehr. And he had a draw with Jai Herbert. I'm not very high on Klein. He's a fine fighter, just he's not very great. Yeah, he beat Shane Young, but Shane Young sucks. Devontae Smith, he's cut for a reason. Mason Jones is terrible. His 2 losses, Trezano, and Landwehr, you can't really get too mad at that. But then a draw with Jai Herbert in a fight that he really should have lost. That's bad, man. That's pretty bad. To have a draw with Jai Herbert in a fight that Klein probably should have lost this fight. It's a bad look. Klein's a decent striker, but that's about it. Like, his ground game's pretty bad, from what I remember. And he's just... Man, if he actually didn't fight Jim Miller here, Jesus. He's just not that great. He's like, to be honest, he's kind of like Ignacio, but worse. He's smaller. He's not that good of a striker, and Ignacio's probably better on the ground, so... Like, Klein's not a bad fighter, but I think Ignacio literally is just better everywhere, to be honest, so... Yeah. Not really much more to say about this fight. The betting odds for this fight have Ignacio Bahamondes minus 200 to plus 165. Yeah, I agree. You're not like so. Ignacio should just be better everywhere. So, yeah, I agree with those odds. And I think Ignacio should win this. He's fighting smarter now. He's very good. And I think he should beat a dude like Ľudovít Klein. Giant, holy fuck, 6'3", 5'7". Oh my fucking god. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. That's insane. Dude, it's gonna look like a fucking father looking at his son at the face-off. Dude, what the fuck? That makes me switch up my entire picking plan, because now, dude, I might go Bahamondes by knockout. Yeah, I am going to go Bahamondes by knockout now. So yeah, Ignacio should win this fight. I'm going to say Ignacio Bahamondes by knockout in the first. Dude, that fucking reach and height is fucking stupid. 6'3" to 5'7". Dude, that's fucked. That's literally fucked. That's literally a lightweight and a featherweight. You can't tell me otherwise. So, yeah, I'm gonna go Ignacio Bahamondes by knockout in the first, I think. Now, knowing that I knew Ignacio was bigger. I didn't think he was that much bigger. Fuck. So, yeah, I'm gonna go Ignacio Bahamondes by knockout in the first. Either knockout or decision, I think. Ignacio by knockout in the first. Nothing more to say. Let's continue. After that, we have a heavyweight fight between Tanner the Bulldozer Boser versus Aleksa Camur. Pause. This shouldn't be interesting. Let's talk about Tanner Boser. Tanner in the UFC is 4-5. His wins, that guy. Felipe Lins, that guy. In OSP, his losses, Sorogan, Andrei Arlovsky, Ilir Latifi, Nascimento, and Ian Cutelaba. Boser sucks, to be honest. He's just a really strong hitter. He's just not good. He should have won this fight, though. But yeah, he's just not good. Either he's gonna knock you out, or you're gonna be able to either knock him out or outpoint, or just fight smarter. So yeah, Boser is just terrible. Not very much to say. Talk about Aleksa Camur. He's still in the UFC? Question mark? This dude sucks. He lost to William Knight and Nick Negamariano beat you. Which that's not a diss. Nick is a good fighter, so yeah, why is this happening? He should get cut already, and he should have been cut. So yeah, I don't know. I have really little to say. Tanner Boser by knockout in the first. Who gives a fuck? Next. After that, we head to a fun featherweight fight between Gavin Governor Tucker versus Deigo Lopes. Let's talk about Gavin Tucker. It's been a while, Gav. Been a while. Gavin Tucker is 4-2 in the UFC, and really talking about any of his past fights is kind of silly because it's been 2 years now. In his last fight, he got embarrassed by Dan Ige, but besides that, yeah, he had some wins and some losses. He moved down from lightweight, I believe, and now he went on a nice winning streak and then met Dan Ige. He's finally back now after a 2.5 year layoff. Yeah, it's nice. I'm happy to see him back. He's a decent fighter. He's definitely a decent fighter. Good striker, good ground game. But at being 37 off a 2.5 year layoff against a tough young kid, this is going to be a tough return fight for Gavin Tucker, because they did not give him any easy matchups here, because they gave him a fucking tough matchup. A hungry kid who just... let's just talk about Diego Lopes. They gave him a kid who just gave Monthor Evloev a fucking fight in his debut. Jesus Christ. Lopes is a really good fighter. He almost beat Monthor Evloev a couple times. So, yeah, he's really good. He really won that fight just because he pushed Evloev to its goddamn limits. He exposed Evloev and he lost. Let that sink in. This kid showed up on short notice against a ranked featherweight and almost beat him. Could you fucking imagine? This kid's awesome. everyone became a fan of Diego Lopes after 288. Fuck, everyone's a fan. The kid's a fucking animal. He does not care. For 15 minutes, he fought his goddamn heart out like it was the last fight of his life. And respectable as shit. And now he gets a favorable matchup here against Gavin Tucker. I'm very interested to see how he does here. This is gonna be an interesting one here. I definitely think this is gonna be an interesting, very interesting fight. So, I'll say that much. The betting odds for this fight have Diego Lopes minus 135 to plus 110. Yeah, I'd actually make Lopes a little bigger of a favorite, maybe minus 150. He should win this fight. On the ground, he's better. On the feet, he is close, but with Tucker being off for so long, Lopes might be better on the feet. It's gonna be a very interesting fight. I don't think this will go 15 minutes. Someone's gonna get dropped or subbed. Just who's it gonna be? I'm gonna go Diego Lopes. Sorry, Gav. It's nice to have you back, but I think Lopes is gonna be able to just get the win here. Kid's hungry as fuck, coming off a fight 2 months ago. Given Evloev the toughest fight of his life, I have to go Diego Lopes. Just any bit of sense tells me Diego Lopes. So yeah, I'm gonna go Diego Lopes by submission in the first. I think he can catch Gavin and get his first UFC win. So yeah, I'm going Diego Lopes by sub in the first. After that, we had the light heavyweight for another fun fight between Dustin the Hanyak Jacoby versus Kennedy African Savage Nzechukwu. Let's talk about Dustin Jacoby. Dustin in the UFC is 6-4-1, really should be 7-3-1. And I won't go around his whole UFC career. I'll go down his last couple fights. He was on a really nice winning streak for a while. Should have got a ranked fight sooner, but eventually he fought Claire Roundtree, got robbed, and then he fought Azamat Murzakanov and got destroyed. He's starting to slow down, which sucks. Dude was on a nice roll for a minute. Dude, he won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row, and he went 6-0-1 over 7 fights since coming back to UFC. Dude, he should have got a ranked fight sooner. I don't know why they kept giving him these easy cans, but they finally gave him a real fight and he got robbed. And then he fought fucking Azamat, who's a great fighter. So Jacoby's definitely slowing down, and it sucks because he was doing great, but he's just slowing down. And Jacoby, the good thing for Jacoby, his style ain't very. He hadn't taken a lot of damage, so because he has a very basic style, he's not trying to do too much. He's just trying to get the win. Do some striking, maybe a little bit of wrestling, and get the win. And that worked a lot of times against these low-level guys. It's just not gonna work against Azamat Murzakanov. So, yeah. To talk about his opponent, Kennedy Nzechukwu. Kennedy in the UFC is 6-3. To talk about his last 5 fights, I'll go down his whole career. He's had a very weird career in the UFC. He's had his highs, but then he's had his weird lows. We won't talk about this because that's an insane debut, but this knockout that made no sense, and then this fight that he probably should have won. But I'm happy. It does seem like dude is finally putting it all together. 3 in a row now. Quote quote main event win against Kutalaba, subbing a tough dude like Devin Clark. He really seems to be putting it all together now, and that's good. I'm happy to see that because Kennedy's a really good dude and he's a great fighter. He's always shown potential. Ever since the Alberg fight, I've been interested in this kid because he showed heart there. But then he got another comeback one against Marquez. But then he hit this weird skid that made no sense, but now he's back, so I'm happy that he's doing good again, but can he keep it up? Is my thing, and this fight will tell you if he can keep it up, because I think he's a better fighter than Jacoby, Nzechukwu is a really good fighter, but can he beat Jacoby? Can he stay consistent? For a while, he was looked at one of the most inconsistent fighters in my eyes, but now he's actually starting to fight very consistent. So that's very assuring, I guess will be the word I'll go with. It's very assuring. So yeah, I'm happy Ken is finally fighting to his level consistently. So yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Kendi and Nzechukwu minus 140 to plus 120. Yeah, it makes sense. A small favorite, but a favorite, I would agree. I agree. Kendi should probably get the win here. Jacoby's on a skid, not looking good against Azamat. Back only 3 months after that fight. Kennedy's on a roll, coming off a nice one against Devin Clark in a war. He should win this, and I think he will. My pick is definitely Kennedy and Nzechukwu. I think I'm gonna go Kennedy by... Ooh. I think I'm feeling a decision. I don't think he's gonna be able to knock Jacoby off. Clear will hit him with the shots he did and then KO him. I don't think Kennedy will. I could see a submission like he did to Clark, but I'm not really feeling that. I think I'm gonna go decision. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go Kennedy and Nzechukwu by decision. It seems right for a Jacoby fight. So yeah, I'm gonna go Nzechukwu by decision. Kid's really good, finally hitting his stride. Let's see how he does. Time for the co-main event of the evening. A banger between two strawweight veterans finally meeting, as we have Jessica Beta Estoca Andrade versus Tatiana Suarez. I'm not going to break down Jessica Andrade. It's her fourth fight this year, and everyone on Earth knows Jessica Andrade by now. Who I will break down is Tatiana Suarez. Not because I have to, just because she was meant to fight Verona Jandiroba on this card, but Jandiroba obviously pulled out. But I just want to throw that in. But yeah, Tatiana Suarez back fighting a consistent schedule. Her second fight this year, and I love to see it. She is back looking better than ever. In her return fight against Montana De La Rosa, she knocked the rust off. She looked good and came back with a fire. And now she's going back down to strawweight, her weight class, and she's fighting Jessica Andrade. She's going right back into the Lions Den, man. She got the wheels oiled up and ready, and she's back on the road. And now she's going into the Lions Den with Andrade, who's no easy fight for anyone. But this is a very favorable matchup for Tatiana Suarez, because we all know Andrade is a great striker. But what's her one weakness that's always been exploited by Earn and a couple other Valentina? She can be wrestled because she is so short. She's very strong, but she's short. Valentina, Earn Blanchfield both exploited that very well. And Tatiana, who's, I would say, with Earn Blanchfield, the best female wrestler in the UFC, the two best female wrestlers in the UFC, that she should be able to exploit this. She does not want to strike with Andrade. If she tries to strike with Andrade, she's probably getting knocked out. Because Tatiana's striking ain't terrible, just it ain't just Andrade. But I don't. This is a great co-main event. I'm very excited for this, and it could go one of two ways. It's either an Andrade knockout or Tatiana WrestleFest. I don't really get these betting odds that much. I move them down. I would have Tatiana Suarez maybe minus 200, 250. I get what they're thinking. If Earn did it, if Valentina did it, Tatiana could do it, which I agree. But yeah, remember a couple. Earn and Valentina did it at strawweight, or at flyweight, and they are bigger than Andrade by a good margin. And also, you gotta remember, this is Tatiana's first cut down to strawweight in 4 years. That too. And she was training for a wrestler in Jandiroba also, so. But in the same breath, I do get these odds because Andrade is on a skid right now, losing to Jan by a brutal knockout 2 months ago, and then before that, 3 months before that, she got subbed by Erin Blanchfield. So, and this is her 4th fight this year. This is her 2nd cut down to strawweight in 2 months. So, and I'm understanding where they are coming from here. So, yeah, I definitely understand where they are coming from. So, yeah. And I'm not picking Andrade. I know it sounds like I'm picking Andrade. I'm not. I am going Tatiana Suarez to get the win here. I do think she'll be able to wrestle Andrade to a win. Now, my main thing is a submission or is it a decision? Could be a TKO, but I doubt it. I'm gonna say... I'm gonna say submission. I think she goes back down to her weight class and makes a fucking statement. So, I'm gonna go Tatiana Suarez by submission in the first. I think she could get on Andrade's back and sub her, get an arm, get a leg, anything of that sort. I think Tatiana's back, man. She's making that title run that she never got to make when she was a little younger, when she was on this winning streak, beating Grasso and all that. But I think this might be better for her. She was 28 then, she's 32 now. She's smarter, she's better, got better striking, and she's gonna need as good a striking as she can get on when they are striking in this fight, so... Yeah, I'm gonna go Tatiana Suarez by submission in the first. Andrade could win. Could keep it on the feet and just pick her apart, or she could knock her out. But do I think she's gonna do that? Probably not. 4th fight this year, 2nd cut down strawweight in 2 months, and coming in on short notice for this fight, no less. Writing on the wall says Tatiana should win, and I'm going to listen to that writing, so I'm going to go Tatiana Suarez by submission in the first. I'm so happy she's back fighting consistently. So, yeah. Suarez, submission in the first. And now for our main event of the evening. Not going to waste much time on this. We have Cory, the Sandman, Sandhagen versus Font Rob. We all know this was meant to be Cory Sandhagen and Umar Nurmagomedov, but Umar pulled out, Font stepped in, and now the fight's a catchweight at 140, by the way. Very respectable, but yeah, Cory's just gonna style on him for 25 minutes. I won't waste your time. And in fact, this might be a crazier stat. Well, not stat, but thing I'm gonna say, Cory is my lock of the night for this card. I'm not that confident in Cory, but when you look over this card, he is my most confident pick, him and Deigo Lopes. So, he's just better. He's just better. He's, do I really tell you why Cory Sandhagen's better than Rob Font? Rob Font's okay, but Fluke got destroyed by a dude Cory destroyed. Got destroyed by a 60-year-old Aldo. Good job. People really hype up this motherfucker for beating Marlon Moraes. Dude ain't that good. I've never saw much of a Font Rob. He actually got lucky Song Yadong pulled out, because Yadong probably was gonna knock his ass out, so Cory won't. Cory will probably do some wrestling. His newfound wrestling has really been well for him. It really helped him against Song Yadong, and against Cheeto it really helped. So, yeah, this newfound wrestling from Cory is very smart. I don't know how it's gonna do against a guy like Merab or Henry Cejudo, but right now against guys like Cheeto and Song Yadong and Rob Font is pretty smart. So yeah, Cory is one of the best bandweights in the world, and she's gonna keep showing why. So I'm gonna go Cory Sandhagen by decision. Just a 25-minute showcase. I highly doubt if Font Rob somehow clips his chin, knocks him out, then MMA is fucking rigged, because that makes no fucking sense. But I'm not too worried, so yeah. Sandman by decision. Boom, there's a card, hour 9 minutes later. To go over my picks one more time. Almabaev by decision. Dennis Buzukja by decision. Billy Q by knockout in the second. Jeremiah Wells by decision. Kyler Phillips by knockout in the second. Ignacio Bahamondes by knockout in the first. Tanner Boser by knockout in the first. Deigo Lopes by submission in the first. Kennedy Nzechukwu by decision. Tatiana Suarez by submission in the first. And Cory Sandhagen lock of the night, kind of, by decision. Boom. That's the card. It's fine. I don't know. I have weird hate for it. There's some, like I said, great 3 fights here on the prelims. Hype for his debut. Always great to see Ignacio. Great fight. Fine fight. Should be a decent night of fights, even if I'm not a giant fan of it. And yes, I know that says 12, it's 11 fights to me. I'm not talking about that 12th fight, fuck you. So, yeah, we're not much more to say, guys. That was the breakdown, recap. I know, recap will either be Sunday 1 p.m. EST or Monday 10 a.m. EST. We'll see. Don't get your hopes up. That Sunday more likely will be Monday, but you never know. However I feel after the card. So, yeah. At least I'm telling you now it's not going to be Sunday for sure. Breakdowns will always be Friday 1 p.m. EST. So, there you go. But, yeah, we're not much more to say, guys. Unless I'm forgetting to say something, which I don't think I am. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me your picks and all that down below if you want. Please like, comment, sub. 100 subs go by the end of the year. I'm trying to think, is there anything else to say? Not really. And as always... by the way, I know it seems like I'm rushing this later part of the video. I'm not. I don't want to ramble on too long. As always, RX. Out. Time to enter the Sandman.